Gang, thanks an awful lot for hanging in there with us. That was a great segment. Thank you, Patty, for being here with us. We really appreciate all the work that you do, and your father's work is fabulous. We're going to make sure people know about the 30th so they get them over there to the Harriet Tubman. But right now, it's my great pleasure and honor to introduce you, or welcome back, or say hello to old friend Tom. Hello, Tom Hayes.
Glenn,
how are you?
Great to be here.
I'm glad you would be able to come tonight.
I know. It was great. I missed the last show. I feel so guilty.
No.
I thought I'd never hear from you again.
No, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
And I got this great call last night from Janice.
Yeah.
Would you like? I said, of course. I'm allowed back into the hallowed halls.
Please. We're proud and happy to have you here with us, Tom. We have you listed as many things. One of them is a member here at BNN.
Yeah.
And I thank you for that. How's that treating you?
You know, it was great hearing Patricia speak about it. But one of the things, you know, everything she learned, etc. But I have to say, it is a blast.
Yeah.
Oh, did we have fun?
Yeah.
I mean, just craziness. You know, when you get in the studio, so much happens. You know, there's like an aura, a vibe.
Yeah, there most certainly is. There's no question about it. You are the producer of an amazing couple of CDs that talk about a family or a group of beans.
Boston's Beantown.
Who happen to live
in Beantown.
In Beantown.
Beantown. And Beantown in this case is a mythical place.
Okay.
But of course it came from.
Come on, it's got to be Boston.
Of course it is. Of course it is. I mean, I grew, all those places you were talking about, Talbot Avenue.
Yeah.
Well, there's obviously a little age difference, but I grew up on Warren Street, Dudley Street, and right
a little age difference. You think so?
Yeah, I think so. Well, you know, you get the hair and all, and that's gone here.
That's because you think harder than I do. That's all.
But you know, I grew up in the Berry. You know, grew up in the real heart of the city, no messing around, and live in South Boston now. Boston boy my whole life.
Yep.
And just to think that after I retired, I became a comedian, which was just another amazing thing that happened. You know, to think of what came out of Boston in the 70s and 80s.
Some great things.
Oh, and Paula Poundstone, Dennis Leary,
amazing.
You know, now.
What's his name on the Tonight Show was right from here.
Yeah. So
Jay Leno. I mean, he's a Boston guy.
Exactly.
Come on, you know?
So, I mean, we really populated the whole, not only the comedy world, but show business for years.
And what looks like fun and frivolity is a lot of hard work.
Brutal.
It's a
I mean,
tough gig.
there's nobody, you know, here you can come and learn how to hold a camera, take a shot, and you can learn editing. Nobody can teach you comedy.
Right, you're not.
That's it. I mean, you can listen to some guy say it, and baby, if it doesn't come across, and then, so it is, and it's brutal because you're alone.
Yeah, right. It's you up there.
You know, I mean, you've got, you know, I just loved the work you just did there. I mean, I saw. Evidently, did you learn that editing here?
No, that stuff goes way back, and that's Tim Casey, Tim Casey and I have been playing together 33 years.
Wow.
And we started a record label called Low Budget Records.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And that's some of the things that we do there.
He does shots from The Matrix.
Yeah, he's an incredible videographer. He did a show here in Studio A called Transmission Hour. That is an award-winning show. It's an amazing program.
I want to, before we get into that, the fact that, you know, as we go through as artists, so you did music, but now you're doing visual art. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
Someone handed me a tool.
Brush?
Yeah. No. Painting. Oh, I've always been painting. I've painted for a long time.
And that's what's happening at the Liberty.
That's what's going to be at the Liberty is my paintings.
What happened first? Music?
Music happened first.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
There's no question music was first.
Yeah, once you get the bug, though, crazy things happen, right? Yeah. Fun.
Let's talk about the Bean. Now you kind of branch. Who is this?
Well, that's one of, I mean, Boston, Make Way for Ducklings. I mean, he's got the shape of a bean, right? You can see all of our characters had shape of beans, and I mean, Make Way for Ducklings. So we thought, and of course you have the Duck Tour.
Well,
so
that looks good.
We made
David,
we made over 180 characters because they started to peg us when we started to shop this around the country. They said, "Oh, it's Boston. It's not going to." Now imagine that.
What's the message behind the
Well, our message is use your bean, trust your heart, build your character.
Right.
And originally it was just to take this idea of the Boston bean and think of that. All of a sudden, nobody had ever done it before. and all of a sudden, boom, we have a mascot, we have toys, you have an actual visual character.
Yeah.
And think of, my first idea was to have him tell history of Boston through
Right.
the Paul. He could have been in Paul Revere's Saddlebags or
Yeah, yeah.
something.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and he could have talked about Bean Franklin, and so all of these things. So I
No
saw,
one is safe. Huh?
Right. So, but actually, as accidents happen, everybody started to say we were too regional.
Really?
So, yeah. And I used to say like Cheers.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Or like the Boston Red Sox.
Right. Well.
You know, or like Good Will Hunting. You know, but what's specific to Boston really does have an impact worldwide, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
almost certainly does.
I mean, for a city-
especially in this country. I mean, it's the birth. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
this is where we
Well,
all,
I mean,
we
for
all
a
got
city
the
our
right
s-
idea.
For our city our size.
Yeah.
I mean, 500,000
I know,
people
a
in.
small place compared to some of these.
And you know, we're just we're domination now in sports. And,
Now you're doing you do a radio talk
show.
a blog radio
yeah,
show?
kind of an interesting evolution. We created the toys, et cetera, and we were getting investment money. The economy came along, and all of a sudden, the investment dried up. So I was kind of left with the property myself and one of my buddies. And we said, well, we wanted to publish, we want to get stories out, want to do that. But of course, illustration is extremely expensive. Animation is prohibitive.
Yeah, forget it.
And so all of a sudden I got this idea one day, being a comedian, I was doing a comedy radio show. I put the phone down because it's all internet. And I actually heard something say, stupid, do a kids radio show.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I met this gal, Tammy Pooler, who's a comedian in Maine, and I told her I want to do a kids radio show, and she says, I don't understand. I said, well, we'll do little vignettes about the two main characters, Bucky and Betty. And so we just improvised, like two, I'm not a musician, but I can only imagine two
jam.
jazz.
They got
You
jam. Sure.
And you create this beautiful music, and we created these beautiful stories. We got about 40 stories, hysterical.
And they're
about
on
the
two CDs now,
Two
right?
CDs,
Yeah.
and we've got more coming. And all of a sudden, bam, we had content for a radio show.
Great.
So we put that up, and we play great. What I did then was, of course, you have to have guests.
Yep.
So I went out and started contacting Children's Music Network, which is a forum and also a place for all of children's musicians to come together, and bingo.
Yeah.
So now we have a radio show.
That's how. And when is that show? When does
We
that
do that
air?
every
and when?
Saturday morning at 10 o'clock on Blog Talk Radio, and it's
That's
an
great.
internet show.
That's great.
Best part is it's podcast, so
Yep.
you know
Yep.
it goes on and
I did
on.
one of those shows for a few years.
Yeah, fun, huh?
It is fun, yeah. It's kind of really cool.
So you did that and this?
Yeah.
You're a busy guy.
I'm sound asleep right now. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. But the Bean, I think it's time, don't you?
Yeah,
I think
do I hold him back?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure and honor to bring to the stage here at BNN.
For the first time ever.
For first time ever.
The actual Bean.
What's his name?
Well, this Bean is the Bean. He's Boston Bean.
The Boston Bean?
This is the mascot of the city.
Come on into the set here, Mr. Bean.
Here, come on over
Mr.
here.
Bean, I want to call him Mr. Bean, but he's not. Yes, folks, we have our own Big Bean. But you had to ship him in from where?
He's from Russia, this
From
particular Bean.
It's a Russian Big
He's not
Bean.
mic'd, but can they hear him?
I don't know. Can we hear you in there?
Говори что по-русски.
Привет.
No, we can't hear him. This is a great concept. What does the Bean get to do?
Well, the first thing, here I started this crazy concept with a bunch of kids out of college. And with coming up with all these ideas. So I said, let's make a mascot. And they're like, you can't spend that kind of money on this, you know? I said, yes, we do. So we created them, and as soon as we did, anybody gets in them, it gets, go ahead, get a little movement and everything, yeah. Everybody gets playful, and he's hysterical. So as soon as I saw him, I said, it was the 375th birthday of Boston. Benino was out there, and I saw him.
Okay.
And so I emailed him. I said, we got the thing. We sent him Photoshop of being all around with him, and we heard nothing for 5 or 6 weeks, and all of a sudden,
boom.
Boom.
Yeah.
One of his assistants calls us and says, we want you to show up at the parade.
We want the Bean.
And when we put him on the street, we couldn't believe, people love him. I mean, even here, they wanted to take pictures.
Mr. Bean, can I ask a quick question? Maybe you can give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Are you ever concerned about your appearance. I mean, you're quite startly there. You're quite the fellow. Does it ever bother you that you're...
Thumbs up or thumbs down?
It doesn't bother you? Okay. That kind of bothers. Well, what kind of diet are you on? What kind of food do you eat? Do you eat, you don't eat baked beans?
Molasses.
Oh, molasses. Do you enjoy a nice glass of molasses every now and then? Okay, well, that's good. I got to thank you for being such a good... That's funny. That's great. Thank you. Well, thank you, Mr. Bean, for being with us. We appreciate you.
Spasiba.
We appreciate you coming in. Where else would people get a chance to see
Well, we bring him
Mr.
downtown every once in a while. The people go cuckoo when they see him. They just latch onto him. They take picture after picture and video and hug him. And not only kids, but the adults and tourists. He's really an ambassador for the city.
What's the website people can go to get more information?
www.beantownpals.
That's great. Beantownpals.com. It's a .com, folks.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Listen, I want to thank you for being here so much.
And,
this is great. Let us know when there's going to be a public appearance.
Well, yeah, we've been out every Sunday, but not. We're taking a little break. But look for them downtown. And come to the radio show. Call in, like you can call on here. And
that's great.
We'll have fun.
Tom,
thank you,
thank
Glenn.
you so much.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Bean.
Wave goodbye.
Good to see you. Listen, gang, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Do not go away, folks. You're watching BNN TV's It's All About Arts. We'll be right back.
Cool.